Alright, this is a 2001 Sierra C3. This is before they actually called them Denalis, but you can tell it's got the Denali front end. Has the LQ4 6-liter, and like all of them, it's got a burnt up 4L60. Basically, this is almost like a luxury version of the SS Silverado. It's got the same 149 transfer case, all-wheel drive all the time. Started as a simple transmission job. Now it's getting cam, long tube headers, and everything. Like anything I do, it always snowballs. We got the intake already apart. About to pull the radiator, the front accessories. Everything on the underside is already disconnected. Transfer case is actually sitting over on the floor over there. And let's go over what I'm going to go put into it. Got a pair of 862 heads off of 5.3. They are recently gone through, but I'm going to upgrade the springs to LS6, the blue valve springs. The 6.0s get a really good boost in power from the bump and compression, and at this power level on the cam that I went with, you're not going to notice any kind of loss due to the smaller valve. It's all going to be gained due to the bump and compression. If you watch any Richard Holdner videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the, and don't mind the mold and mildew is sat beside my shop for the last month or so, and it is pollen and rain season. Here's the cam. It's 560 lift. It's not real big, like 220s duration. It's kind of small. Your typical eBay cold air intake and your eBay Chinese long tube headers, which I'll have to manipulate a little bit because the 6-liter doesn't actually Y into one exhaust, but that's not going to be too big a deal. And this transfer case, that's the transmission going into it. It's out of a Trailblazer, so I'll have to change the mid plate from the 5-bolt to the 6-bolt for the transfer case, but that's not a big deal. Let's see. I also have a Trailblazer SS intake that I am debating on putting in. Only problem is you have this really funky early electronic throttle body that I really don't want to get into. Trying to adapt a 6-wire or an 8-wire throttle body on there, and I really don't want to go into doing drive-by cable. I do have an adapter, ICT billet adapter, that I can put this throttle body on this intake, but you're necking what would be an 87 millimeter opening down to a 78, so there's not going to be really any gain of power if I do that, so probably it's going to stick with a stock intake manifold. So let's get started pulling the engine. I'm going to set up a little time lapse so y'all can see, and don't mind the quarantine stash, so but let's get started. When I say this thing had a smoke transmission, that is what just came out of the transcooler out of the radiator, if it will focus on it. You can see the glitter. This thing is nasty. We're gonna get it all tore down, give it a good cleaning, get rid of these 317 heads and start freshening it up, cam and everything. And yeah, but this thing is nasty. It needs a good Well, the GoPro died on me halfway through the teardown, and as you can tell, this little 6-liter just keeps making messes. But I got the heads off, as you saw. Then got the oil pump, timing gear, timing chain, and the cam out. And cam bearings, they're not the best, but they look all right. I've seen worse, definitely. It held good oil pressure before, so I'm not too worried about it. But it is basically all tore down, ready to be cleaned and reassembled. Well, got the engine out, tore down, made a big mess in the shop. Got a big mess to clean up. Not only engine, the shop, but the engine bay is pretty nasty in this thing. So I'm going to call it a day, and tomorrow get the block cleaned up and the truck and start reassembling.